Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome back to another virtual story time. My name is Mrs. C, and I'm here to share another great story with you. I hope that you all are enjoying your summer break. It's going really fast, and soon it will be time to go back to school. But until then, let's keep having some fun, okay? So, shall we jump into today's story? Well, today I want to read a very familiar story that some of you all may have already heard many times before, and it's one of my favorites. And today we are going to read the story Where the Wild Things Are. Do you want to read the story with me? Well, let's get started. Where the Wild Things Are, story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind and another. His mother called him Wild Thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without anything. That very night in Max's room, a forest grew and grew and grew until his ceiling hung with vines and the walls became the world all around. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through day and night. And in and out of weeks, and almost over a year, to where the wild things are. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. Till Max said, "Be still," and tamed them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all, and made him king of all the wild things. And now, Max cried, "let the wild rumpus start." Oh no, what's happening, boys and girls? Looks like Max and the wild things are having a wild stomping party. Look at that. He's hanging from the tree, and the wild things are hanging from the tree. Are they being wild? I think so too. It looks like they have made Max the king of the wild things. Max looks like he's having a great time, doesn't he? Would you like to be like Max and be on the wild things too? Do you see yourself being the king or the queen of the wild things? Something to think about. "Now stop," Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around, from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day and into the night of his very own room where he found his supper waiting for him. And it was still hot. The end. Boys and girls, what did you think about the story Where the Wild Things Are? What do you think that story was about? Well, Mrs. C will tell you. Sometimes when we get upset with our parents because they want us to do one thing and we want to do something else, we begin to have what we call temper tantrums. And sometimes our parents feel like it's the best thing to send us to our rooms so that we can have a cooling off period. That's what happened to Max in the story. His mom sent him to his room to kind of cool off. But while Max was in his room, what happened? That's right, Max decided to let all of his emotions out and travel into his imagination to where the wild things are. And in the story of the wild things, what happened when Max got to where they were? They had a roaring, stomping party. So I can imagine while Max was in his room, he was screaming and yelling and throwing things and getting all of those bad emotions out, right? Sometimes it takes us to kind of go to our room by ourselves and let all of those bad emotions out until we calm down. But once Max calmed down with the wild things, what happened? He wanted to go back to where somebody truly loved him, right? And who was that person that truly loved him? His mom, that's right. And because she was making dinner, he was hungry. So when he got back to his room, there was what waiting for him? His dinner, that's right. And what about the creatures from the Wild Things forest? What was wrong with them when Max decided he didn't want any part of it anymore? They tried to convince him to stay, right? And sometimes our emotions, we can get so upset that our emotions take us over and try to stay and settle upon us. And that's not really a good thing. But what is a good thing is that the adults acknowledge that you are upset and they give you time to calm down. And once you calm down, you can come back and you can talk to your parents about your feelings. You don't have to lash out at every little thing and everybody, but you can take the time to calm yourself down so that you can have a nice, normal conversation about what's bothering you. Your feelings are very important, especially to your parents. That's right, but we have to learn how to use our social emotional learning skills to kind of navigate those feelings. So on today, boys and girls, I want you to spend some time thinking about some things that make you upset. And in those moments that you get upset, I want you to start to learn to walk away and go to your room or to a quiet space to kind of calm yourself down. Maybe take some deep breaths. Count to 5. Lay back, close your eyes, and think about some things that actually make you happy until you're ready to talk about your feelings in a calm manner. Boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed today's story. I really enjoyed reading this story with you. You can find the story Where the Wild Things Are right here at the Enfield Library. So come down and see us this summer. We can't wait to see you. So until the next time, bye.